adults don't realize how easy they have it. Want to play Roblox? We need to get our parkour skills in order. I don't want to see what now. Again.
Wait, what?
Do you want to play Minecraft? I'm the one talking to myself. Actually, I'm gonna edit this long one. Don't want them all in my way. I'm making the poster now. There's mine, Lucky's, Trisha's, Olive's, Janice. Oh, I didn't get one of Josh, did I? Shoot. So, are you and Janice's thing now?
What?
Yeah, are you like dating?
No, no, he's just my really good friend.
I see.
I mean, I don't know if we're dating or not.
How do you not know?
I don't know. Because, like, okay, so literally, it started off like this. We were just casual, right? I need to turn my music off for this shit. So we were just casual, right? Like, we would just talk, you know, because everyone was in here, and, like, I would glance the chat every once in a while. And then out of nowhere, I changed my name, right? Because I had it as something else before. I think it was still like Sabrina the Wizard or something, and I changed it to my league name. But my league name doesn't have 6 R's in it. It just has the 1 because, you know, like, they can only do, like, 15 letters per word or whatever, like, per username. So I just fixed my name here, and, like, I didn't realize that there was another person that was a kitty cat, but, like, I'm not really a kitty cat, I'm, like, a cougar type thing, because, like, my main champion that I play in League of Legends, her name is Nidalee, Nidalee. I call her Nidalee all the time just because it sounds better than... It's Nidalee, Nidall, or Nidalee. And her ability makes her, like, her ultimate and stuff like that, like her powers. She's part human, but part cougar, like giant cat.
Kind of like a Katara.
Yeah, and like you can transform yourself into a tiger or whatever, a cougar or whatever it is. Because some skins in the game, like how Minecraft is, you have certain skins in the game, and like depending on what skin you play, your character is deeply affected. So like their abilities change. So for instance, if you had like Super Guardian or Super Galaxy, like Super like Guardians of the Galaxy, if you attached one of those skins to a character, maybe their gun would change and they would shoot like starfire, like starball, like stars, like it make the shooting star noise, like the whoosh, whoosh, or stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like that. And so I changed my name and I started role playing just out of nowhere. Just I said, yeah, like I changed my name to the Mighty Persian. I'm the goddess over I'm the goddess over this channel. Anyone that wants to fuck with me or anyone here, bring it on or something. And Genesis, he was the first one to like speak out or whatever. And like I kind of told him and Alan, like everyone in here, well, actually, it was beforehand, not this chat, but it was the previous chat, because you had made one before, and then you moved us to this chat. I remember that.
Yeah.
And so in the older chat, I had told Genesis and a few other people, I was like, hey, listen, like, I have a really dark past, and I just don't want to live with it right now. Like, I had a fiance, and then he cheated on me with my bridesmaid, and like I just like tumbled down. I was so high up that I just tumbled. So they already knew my backstory, but they didn't know it quite well. I just said that like I wasn't interested in dating anyone or anything like that. And then out of nowhere, I started role playing with people. I was like, yeah, listen, I'm a kitty cat. It's all about me. Because that's what cats do, right? Stereotypical cat. And I started role playing, and I made the Mighty Persian a real thing. And I didn't know that Genesis role played as well, so he started role playing back with me, and we just have been going back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, I've
well,
noticed.
It got to the point where, I was like, you know what, let's do it. So I said, listen, Genesis, you're not gonna like this, but I'm gonna boop you. And he was like, what? And I did the quotation things to like how you whisper stuff in the chat, and it like changed the font of it. And what I said was I took my head, I transformed from human form to cat form, and I brushed up against his leg, and I turned him into one of my people. And as one of my people, he is protected by me and only me, because I'm the ruler, right? Because that's what my role playing is. I'm this high, authentic goddess type thing that protects her people and thinks of nothing but her homeland and the people. So I did that, and he was like, wait, I'm part of your people now? I was just like, yeah, and you're under my protection, and anyone that says otherwise can speak to me. And he was like, sick, dude, this is awesome. So we go down the line, and we're talking nonstop, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he's telling me all this, like personal stuff, and how he has anxiety with talking to people and stuff like that. And I was just like, yeah, dude, like, I feel the same way. I can hardly stand human contact. Like, when someone comes to hug me, I get really intense anxiety, even if I know them, like, personally. Like, I know them by name, like, I know where they live,
I don't like hugs,
like that.
But
yeah, that.
I don't like hugs, but I like spending time with people.
I get really I get really bad anxiety. I get really shaken up, like, holy fuck, what are we doing? Like, where are we going? Like, I get really, really bad anxiety when I'm in a group of people. Like, in real life. It's not so bad here because, like, we're just talking. You're not, like, physically here, Like, you're not standing by my bedside. Unless you are, and that's really creepy. Gonna double check. Nope, you're good.
Did you actually check?
We're not. Yeah. I don't know, man. People have, fucking ghosts in their house that take on shapes and forms of their friends. I don't know.
You believe it?
I thought it'd be funny to tell you that I looked over my shoulder anyways.
I have
I
have a haunted house. I am not lying, not even kidding. I have a haunted house. When I go into my basement.
God. Yeah, that's where it starts. That's when you don't go into the basement. You never ever go into the basement. That's where all the killers and deaths happen. That's what. Go ahead, Sammy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was in the basement and I was getting some stuff. I had to get the Christmas stuff, and because I have Christmas stuff in the attic and in the basement, because my house is a Christmas warehouse, and so when I was getting the stuff, I felt something breathing on my neck. I'm like, oh, it's just the wind. So I ignored it at first. But then it got to the point where, hold on. It got to the point where I couldn't ignore it. And it was so creepy because I turned around and there was nothing there. But I felt like there was something there, and I felt this presence. Like, I can kind of sense auras and stuff, and I sensed a presence, you know, and so I was so freaked out, I just ran, and if you see me, like, what the hell is wrong with her? Because I ran up the stairs so fast, and then I slammed the door shut, and I put the thing in front of it and bolted it up, because it has a bolt over it, because it's one of those hatched basements, you know, like my attic. You see my attic, I don't know if you see my basement. Yeah. So it has a bolt thing on it so you can walk over it. And I bolted it up and threw the carpet over it, and then I actually moved the couch over it. So there's no way anything in that basement could have gotten up. And then I was just sitting on the couch like... And then after about 20 minutes, like, that did not just happen. And so I went back down there, and I never felt it again. But I also feel like every now and again I feel like it's raining on me. Just raining on me specifically. And one of my friends who's really into all that occult stuff, she said that that's a sign that the spirits are around you and the spirits are crying. It's like, oh crap, why are there spirits crying on me? Have you ever experienced that where you feel like you're getting rained on?
I mean, yeah, but I don't really feel auras or see them. I'm not that kind of a cat. I'm still a human being. My dog, on the other hand, can see them, and my cat can. It's really creepy because my cat will be running around the house, and there's nothing there, but she's, like, playing with something. Like, she's, like, chasing a ball of yarn, and, like, she tries to bite, like, claw at it, and I'm like, there's nothing there. The fuck are you doing?
You can train yourself to sense them. It's just a little... Hold on, let me go this. What does it mean when you feel like it's raining? I looked this up before, but I want to find it again. It meant... I had it saved, but I lost where I had it. It basically meant... Maybe if I type in spirit. I don't remember how I looked it up before. Or maybe it was a ghost crying on you? Ghost drain, here it is. Experience the authentic physical connection. You'd probably wiped out half a dozen prints, emotion, blah, 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 blah. I cannot find it, but there were other people who felt this way, and it meant that someone was going to die in your life or something bad was going to happen, and that's why the ghost was crying.
But yeah, so, and then out of nowhere, Genesis was, because we were talking about League, Genesis and myself, like back and forth, like nonstop. And then out of nowhere, I like told him like my favorite champions and like people to play, you know, like the characters in the game that like you can play and stuff. And he like just kept going back and forth, and we just like, you know, kept talking about League. And then eventually he told me that he liked playing support on bottom. So basically, like, you have a top lane, middle lane, a bottom lane, and then you have a jungler. And like the map, it's kind of like a diamond shape. And the object of the game is to destroy all the towers. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 11 towers on each side that guard the crystal.
Kind of like the end.
Yeah. And then there's a giant crystal that you have to defend, and there's 2 towers that protect them, like they're turrets that shoot enemies and things like that. And then there's 3 baby crystals, where each of the towers are. So like there's 1 top, 1 bottom, and 1 mid. And those turrets protect the inhibitor. It's basically the baby crystal that powers the giant mighty crystal. If that gets destroyed, then the enemy team not only earns a lot of points, like I'm talking about the baby crystals, the inhibitors. if an inhibitor gets destroyed, then basically the enemy team they get bonus like minions and things like that help them fight, and they're really tanky and hard to kill. So yeah, and like we were just talking back and forth, and he said that he likes to play support on bottom because basically how it works is you have a top laner that like it's 1v1, that they fight and stuff. They have the middle laner that also is a 1v1. They just have, it's just 2 champions, so it's 1-1-1-1, and then the bottom lane, it's 2 people versus 2 other people. And the bottom lane, it's a support champion or tanky champion with the ADC, otherwise known as the all damage carry. So basically, all damage carry, they're the or all damage dealer, basically, ADD. But we call them ADC because not only does it sound better, but basically the ADC is supposed to carry the team to victory by getting a lot of kills and like doing the most damage of anyone on your team, even though that's not always valid and correct. It's a 5v5, by the way, so 4 players are going to be in lane. That's what we call them. So they're going to be either top, middle, or bottom. And then the 5th champion, they're usually roaming the jungle. There's specific areas on the map that drop, they get buffs and things like that. So like they get like mana increase, or health regeneration, or they get extra like extra coins and pips and things, like they get extra shit if they farm jungle. And basically the jungler's job is to gank or go behind enemy lines and destroy the champions, or the like you double team on a champion. So like if you were in middle lane and you called for a gank, you basically just ask the jungler really nicely, and usually they'll be like, yeah, free kill, why not? So then the jungler comes up to your lane, and then you 2v1 that champion. However, there's another jungler, and it's the enemy jungler, and sometimes the enemy jungler will also come in, so then it's a 2v2 wherever, or even a 3v3 on bottom if like the enemy jungler. Yeah, it's a lot of teamwork and team quality and things like that to win the game or whatever it is. And it's really difficult because support on bottom is really hard. It's the easiest thing to do because you're supporting someone, but it's really difficult because sometimes the person that you're playing with isn't the best nor the brightest. So like,
yeah, I know
they don't know what they're doing. Yeah. So like it's kind of like in Wizard 101 where you have your healer, your tank, your all damage dealer, and then you have like the extra person that
has no ice shields.
Yeah. Basically the tank and the healer would be on bottom, or they would go, like down bottom lane. You have the like balance wizard that would go middle, like they'd go up middle. You'd have the storm wizard that goes bottom with the support, the life wizard, you'd have it would be either life or ice going with the storm wizard on bottom. You would have the balance wizard going down middle, because normally middle laners, they're kind of balanced, like they can go anywhere on the map, but they're best at middle, like they're the bestest, like their abilities and things that they can do are better in middle. And then the top laner is kind of like a myth wizard or a death wizard. The top laner kind of keeps the game together, because if they end up falling, then the game kind of goes downhill from there. Because how it works is you want to destroy towers, so like you got to destroy a tower and then a tower, like you just keep destroying towers until you get to the crystal, otherwise known as the nebulous, the nexus. I don't know exactly what it's called. I just know it as the giant crystal. And yeah, so we were talking about it, Genesis and I, and he said he likes playing support, and I told him I play support phenomenally, like it's just phenomenal. But I also told him that I have other roles that I play as well, like middle, top, jungle, ADC, and because like I told him and the role that that falls under is called Fill, Fill, meaning that you can go anywhere. People that call being
like a filler.
Yeah. People, because how it works is you have to call your position. So like you have to say top, bottom, mid. Unless you're in a Discord with 5 people and you talk about it, 99% of the time you're going to be stuck with a role or a specific champion job that you don't want to do, like healer or jungle. Healing and like being the support and on bottom and being the jungler for your team are usually the last to be called. If it's the first, then let that person that called it go. Like, let them have it. Because what sometimes ends up happening is people end up fighting over who goes where. Like, some people say, like, they call middle, and then someone else calls middle, and then they'll fight in the chat, and then sometimes the game, like, lags out. Kind of like Wizard 101, where, like, people flee, and then they don't come back to the battle. That happens in League of Legends, except it crashes the whole server. So you have to, like, log out, log back in, because what happens is Riot Games servers, they've already assigned you to that team and, like, to that match. So when it's called dodging. So when someone leaves the game because they don't like how their teammates are acting, or they called the position but they're not going to get that position because someone else already called it or something like that. I sound so professional right now. Jesus, it's a stupid video game. But anyways, it's called dodging, and like it's just really complicated because, like, I mean, you don't have to sign out. It signs out for you, and it sends you back into the queue, or when you find a match game, kind of like playing team up on Wizard 101. Like, you just sit there and wait.
Yeah, I hate
and then
that.
you go in. Yeah. It's basically like that with League of Legends, because you have to, like, accept the game invite, and then you get into another game. 99% of the time, you're with the same teammates, minus the one guy that dodged. So, like, you'll get back in the game with the already teammates that you had, minus the one guy, whether it was on your team or their team, doesn't matter. There's always an extra person. So, like, you could be playing with 4 people that you just were in a game with, leave that game and come back, and you're still with those 4 people. Well, technically, it'd be 3, because you would be the 4th, and then there's another random person that's the 5th that just joined the game that the person dodged. But yeah, so Genesis and I, we just kept talking, and the more that we talked, the more that we got really close to each other, and now it's like he's on my hip, basically, because after that, he was like, I'm a healer, like, give me a name, like, I want to be in with your people. And because I would tell him, like, the people are looking up to him because he's the healer. So for a while I called him Genesis the healer, but I was like, that makes no sense. I don't like that. So then I decided on Genesis the Guiding Light, because Guiding Light is a Skyrim spell that you can use, and it's not called Guiding Light, but at least not in its first form. In its second form, it's called Guiding Light. but it's basically a spell that you cast whenever you're in the dark, and it shines a flashlight upon you, like it shoots a light up into the sky, and then the light will follow you wherever you walk. And I was just like, that's kind of what he's doing. So yeah,
That's the perfect
I
name
like
for
that
him.
better. Huh?
That's the perfect name for him.
I know, yeah. So he's now Genesis, the guiding light, but it's Genesis spelled like the chapter,
The beginning.
in the Bible, like Genesis the band, Genesis the chapter in the Bible. Like, I don't call him Genesis like Genis that he has on his name. Granted, I know where he got it from, because he told me, and I know where he got heart from. Huh?
It was from a video game, right?
I think so. I don't actually remember. Because we weren't we weren't talking like we are right now. Or no, it's in this chat. It's in this chat. If you were to scroll up and find where Al, I just call him Ali. Whenever Alan was talking, it was probably around 3 or 4 o'clock today. If you just scroll up and you find, yeah, there it is. When it was me, Al, and Genesis all talking to each other, you'll find that why he named himself Genesis with only one N and one I, and it's not spelled like the Bible or anything like that.
Have you done your team up
We'll
yet?
find out why. That's my fault. Because I'm talking so much. But yeah, pretty much that's that. Her buddy.
They're giving out a sweet amount if you can actually do it.
But yeah, I think I might get Minecraft tomorrow. I think I'm gonna go to GameStop, buy the Minecraft thing, and come back home and redeem it. Because I don't really trust using my credit card or my debit card online. I think that's what I'll do tomorrow. Because I have to run and get shampoo and things anyway, so that'll work. Because I can just take the car. I mean, that's if he doesn't have school, I'll take the car, but if not, then I have to let him have the car, and then I'll leave the house whenever he gets home. Feels bad, man. Don't have a car by myself.
I have 3 cars and not one of them works.
Well, that's just shit luck.
The head gasket and the one is no longer with us, and it's to fix it, they have to tear the entire car apart and change the piece and then put it back together. And it's not a cheap job. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this room. But I don't want to spend all that money on a car that's from the last millennium. So I'm not driving it, so I'm just waiting and seeing how things pan out. And then the other 2, the one has something, it's leaking some sort of substance, and I was told that if I drove it, it would catch on fire, and I have not drove it since. And then the other one, what's a nice way I can spin this? A friendly deer had decided to run in front of my car and kill himself, and my car is now having that aftermath of being hugged by a deer while driving.
Ew, that sounds gross. That sounds funny as well.
Because you can see where he was, like the shape of the deer is still there. Deers are so stupid. Because I have my music blaring really loud so they can hear. And I tried to slam my brakes on so I didn't hit it, but it was too late. It was just right there. So clearly he wanted to die. Suicidal deer. Have you ever hit anything with your car? Savannah? Lou?
What?
Have you ever hit anything with your car?
No. Oh my god. Do you think I'd be alive if I hit something with any car? Not just my car. Do you honestly believe that I'd be okay with hitting something with the car? No. I don't even know how to put this, but no. If I hit something with the car, I will never forgive myself. Not once. Mm-mm.
Well, I spin it like the deer ran in front of me, so he's the one at fault. I had the right
This
of
is
way.
true.
The light was red on the other side. Because you can turn on right here. I mean, you can turn on red here. So if the light's red, you can turn. But you can't just go forward, you have to turn. I had the right of way, which is what the important thing is here. One time I found a dead squirrel in the bucket that I used to collect rainwater. Not entirely sure how that happened. I think the hawk had captured it, because we have hawks here. And I think the hawk caught it and dropped it in the bucket. And then once he realized it was all soggy, he didn't want it anymore and just left it. Buried it in his shoebox in the backyard. I'm the type of person that doesn't feel comfortable throwing corpses away or eating them. A lot of people I know would just eat the corpse or throw it away, and I buried it in a little cardboard box and had a funeral session for it. Almost done with code